Hey, what's up, America? Church story about my friend. So here on TikTok, there's a creator that's calling churches and she's filming herself being rejected for baby formula. And a lot of people have reacted very pissed off about the behavior of churches not helping the poor. But I figured I would tell you a story about one of my friends that used to attend a Pentecostal church and how shitty they treated him, that basically led to lifelong trauma even to this day. So when I was younger, I was one of those guys that had hair all the way down to their shoulders, had a spiked dog collar, and wore a trench coat. And my friend Jason used to describe himself as a gutter punk, and him and his family attended a Pentecostal church. So my parents were always fine with the way I dressed. However, his parents were hard Pentecostals and they couldn't stand it. Now, my friend Jason, he used to attend this Pentecostal church, and he used to wear a leather jacket with a Dead Kennedys patch on the back, the spikes on the shoulder, and of course, he had different colored hair. He used to dress like a punk rocker and even have piercings even at a young age. But during one particular service, he was called out for his appearance, and they made him get up out of the pews and sit on the floor while the church used him as an example of how not to dress to please the Lord. Yes, that happened. So he's sitting there in the pew, everybody's dressed in their Sunday best, and he's dressed, similar to the way he does. And in the middle of the service, the pastor stops the service, tells him to get out of the pew and sit on the floor, then uses the sermon to ridicule his dress, saying that that's not the way Jesus wants you to dress and conduct yourself. A 16-year-old kid called out in front of 130 people, made to sit on the floor, and then ridiculed for 20 minutes publicly for his appearance by a pastor that declares himself a man of God. Needless to say, I think we know the outcome, and I'll tell you what the outcome was. He slipped into heavy depression, often fighting with his mother until his dad unalived himself. Then he became a heavy drug user, arrested for multiple felonies, later on getting facial tattoos. Then towards the age of 40, reverting to dating 20-year-old girls, as he does now. Going from a punk rocker to an insane clown posse person that followed them heavily throughout his 20s and early 30s. Even at certain points turning to gasoline and gold spray paint, if you know what I mean. Yeah, he went that route. And I can pinpoint the time it started, which was from that church service where they openly mocked and ridiculed him for his dress in front of 125 people by a pastor. By the way, he hates God now, just so you know. So everybody out there, I profess that Jesus is God myself, and I think he died and rose again the third day. However, humans can easily make people fall away from God because of their behavior, as we're seeing in this case, which is arguably why he's hated God now for some 25 years. So you have to understand, a church is considered the utmost of safe spaces, right up there with the police department and hospitals. And when you destroy somebody's faith in that institution, you may also destroy their faith in God as well. And with this girl that's calling churches on TikTok, I think we're starting to see that. This is unfortunate because, like I said, I believe that Jesus is God. And of course, Jesus would not turn people away or ridicule them like that. So this is why you need to be kinder, particularly if you're in one of those institutions, because you may be doing lifelong damage to somebody that follows the Lord but has no idea where your cruelty comes from. And that turns them off, making them think, well, if you're this fucked up, what about everybody else in the religion? So for fuck's sake, stop mocking the poor and those that are different from you. You will create a fucking villain for life.